Hello, viewers. Welcome back to the Three Ways podcast, where we bridge the gap between business strategy, operational excellence, and kingdom living. I remain your host, Wisdom Azuama. Today, we'll be talking on a very special topic in operations management. We're going to be talking about value chain and supply chain. Somehow, they sound similar, but the focus on different questions. All right. Now, the supply chain asks, all right, how does the product move? Why the value chain asks, where and how is value added for the customer? So, the supply chain is about the flow of materials and products. The flow of materials and products, whereas value chain is about the flow of usefulness, the satisfaction the customer derive from that product. All right, so think of cooking jollof rice at home for a guest. Your supply chain is how you get the rice, tomatoes, pepper, oil, gas, and the utensils from the market or store to your kitchen. Sourcing the ingredients, bringing them home, and having them ready on time. Okay, you've not started cooking the meal, you just outsource those materials from the market. You purchase them. Now, your value chain is what you do to make that meal worth eating. All right, washing and seasoning properly, controlling the heat. All right, plating the food nicely, creating a warm atmosphere, and serving with a smile. One focus on getting things done there, the other on making things valuable. The same ingredients, all right, that is a supply chain, can produce completely different taste and experience. That is the value chain. Okay, the experience is the value chain. The experience, all right, the satisfaction derived. Okay, now in business, the supply chain covers sourcing raw materials, manufacturing, warehousing, transportation, and delivery to the customer, with goals like efficiency, reliability, and cost control. A fashion brand's supply chain includes cotton farmers, textile mills, factories, shipping companies, and realty stores. In fact, everyone involved in moving that t-shirt from the farm to the wardrobe. Can we see the process? All right, now the value chain, popularized by Michael Porter, is a set of activities that add value at every step. The design, the branding, quality stitching, packaging of the product, and marketing. Then customer support. It's not just about selling the materials, selling it to the end user, all right? But does that customer have a support when the need arise? So putting all this factor into consideration. Two shirts can travel through similar supply chains, but the one with better design and service sits in a stronger value chain, all right, and can command a higher price. So from an operations manager angle, Supply chain is mostly about flows, the movement of materials, information, and products between suppliers, factories, warehouses, and customers. Now, value chain is about the alignment, aligning those flows and internal activities so they can create what? Maximum value customers. Okay, and the value of those products, of those service, all right, determines the value customers are willing to pay for and appreciate. Now, many thinkers explain that the supply chain lives inside the broader value chain. The physical movement is one part, but real competitive advantage comes when each activity, logistics, operations, marketing, services, all right, is examined to see how it can add more value than it costs. Okay, now a helpful way to remember is this: supply chain focuses on cost and efficiency, while value chain focuses on customer value and differentiation, what stands out from your product with another person's product. Do you see it? Yeah. So supply chain tries to reduce what we call delays, waste, and cost across sourcing and logistics. Value chain tries to increase perceived benefits, quality, uniqueness at each stage. All right. So from the idea to after sales, the after sales is recommendation. Will people be willing to recommend this brand or this product? Okay, you see, the after sales, that is the value chain, the value. So a company with a strong supply chain but weak value chain moves products efficiently that nobody deeply wants. So a company with a strong value chain but weak supply chain has great ideas and brand promise, but constantly disappoints with stocks out, delays, or poor reliability. So you see, there must be a balance, an equal proportion for giving attention to your supply and giving attention to the value of the product you are creating and you will send out to the consumer. All right. Now, scripture supports the spirit of value and excellence. So in Colossians 3 verse 23, it says, whatever you do, work at it with all your heart, as working for the Lord, not for human masters. Excellence. So this encourages not just doing the minimum to move things, all right, that is supply, but pouring your heart and care into how we do it. That is value. So a related management insight, often linked to Peter Drucker's thinking, is that the customer rarely buys what the company thinks it sells. I take it again. The customer rarely buys what the company thinks it sells. Reminding leaders that people do not just buy products. People do not just buy product, just like this pen. If I'm not deriving value from this pen, all right, there's no point buying it. And it's not just using the ink, but how did it get to me? The efficiency, all right, okay, and the way the branding, the design, and everything was well thought out for. also makes it more valuable. There's a reason why it is not built like a pencil or maybe every other pen. All right, so I'm not selling this. Sorry, I'm not marketing this. All right, but value chain, okay, is very, very necessary as it analyzes, all right, the force you want to see through the activity you are engaging. I want to sell out, that you want your customers to see. All right, so that is it. So here is a call to action. This week, choose one product, service, or routine in your life to organize. First, sketch your supply chain, where things comes from, and how do they move to the final user. Okay, then sketch your value chain. What you do at each step to improve what quality. You get the feedback from customer, and a complaint about a particular thing. What do? You improve, you adjust, you fix, right? Improve the quality and the experience. So identify one weak spot in each, maybe a delay in your supply chain, like late materials, poor coordination, and a missing value step. All right, so commit to one practical improvement in each area as you keep knowing the flow, and intentionally adding value. You will not only move things faster, you will make them truly matter to the people you are serving. Thanks for watching the Three Ways podcast. If this added value to your day, why not hit that like button and subscribe for more insight on leadership, business, and kingdom life. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.